So this is how it starts.
A few days ago, this clip from an LTT lab tour got a lot of attention online.
The difference between us and somebody like Gamers Nexus or Hardware Unboxed is we test new components.
Wow. Calling them out by name is kind of crazy. I didn't want to say it, but yeah, LTT Labs should look to refine their data, not throw it out and end up with more results that often don't make sense. Not to be salty, but we've all seen it way more than we should.
Made in that tour.
If you have to tell everyone how good your testing is in my 20 plus years of experience, that generally means your testing isn't very good. Your work speaks for itself. Damn, this is a crazy tweet. Because it's hard to disagree with this.
To hit arbitrary...
Bro, don't you want to replace those paper towels in the back?
Let's publish less videos.
I wish we could back off the amount and focus on quality for a bit.
More time for projects would be good.
Just allow us more time to work on a video.
We never have time for retrospection. It's always just, that's out. What's the next thing?
Would be nice if the pace was
and
lessened a little.
That mentality right there is probably what landed them in all of this. Just like not really caring about whether or not you made this 100% and then just moving on to the next one because you have to.
I don't love that we have to release so many videos. I don't know what our current count is weekly, but I know it's very high. Very rarely am I particularly proud of a video I've worked on.
And Linus's own comments recently reinforced that the company is still weighing carefully.
What Adam asked is if we could spend more time, put the 3090 Ti on it, and get real results. And what I told him was no. Because, and
why?
Guys, come on. Like, for real, okay? It's $800 US. I don't know, guys. I'm not sure if I can apologize for not spending another $100, $200, $300, $500 of various people's time.
And that's an important indicator of mindset that comes from...
I don't know, man. Didn't you just get offered that bag? Aren't you fine? I'm thinking about it a little bit, and I feel like it's a little bit short-sighted what Linus just said. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That was a little bit short-sighted. He doesn't have to spend $800, but it's gonna end up in the long term being pretty bad for them because of how it looks. And here we are.
And so given the knowledge of a lack of qualifications when known unqualified or the intentional forfeiture of quality and accuracy for quantity instead, it calls into question the motivations of the corporation and does in fact make it look to be bottom line centric. This is to hit arbitrary, self-imposed...
That's like basically what I said, but just in big words.
...deadlines. And
we just casually had a 4090 sitting on the shelf, clearly labeled,
stating that it should work, despite it not being explicitly compatible. The company did not tell LMG that it would be 4090 compatible. They told LMG that they could try to use a 4090, but Billet Labs itself had not tested one as it didn't have a 4090 at the time.
But it's a bad product.
It looks great.
Yeah, it looks super cool.
Are you just saying it's bad just purely because of the price?
It's bad because it makes absolutely no sense and nobody should buy it. Most of the community is actually really amazing. But there's a vocal minority that looks at something like that and goes, lazy, out of touch, you know, whatever else. No, I'm just really experienced at this.
Oh. You got it.
Crap. That error being in the video that Linus just referenced, that's kind of fucking funny. That's not fair.
What do you say?
That's not fair. It's like he's talking about how he doesn't want to spend money to retest the product when the product is shit. But it's like, one, you didn't even use the right thing, and then two, you bought a fucking test. You bought a lab, dog. Use your lab. I don't know why he wouldn't want his lab to be credible. Like, again, it's like very short-sighted. That's what I'm getting from this Linus video. Is that they just have to keep moving forward, and all these mistakes that they make, they just kind of have to sweep under the rug and keep going because they got 25 videos a week they have to drop.
I don't love that we have to release so many videos. I don't know what...
You know, to say the least. They don't love it. There won't be a big WAN show segment about this or anything. Most of what I have to say I've said already, and I've done so privately to Steve that profile picture is so fucking whack. I've expressed my disappointment that he didn't go through proper journalistic practices in creating this piece. What? Okay, that's crazy. That's not what you just said on the WAN show. Adam and I were talking about this today. He advocated for retesting it regardless of how non-viable it was as a product at the time. I think he expressed really well today why it mattered. I'm so glad Linus has someone in his camp who is just like sane.
I still disagree that the Billet Labs video is an accuracy issue. It's more like, I just read the room wrong. That doesn't even make any sense. It's not the job,
dude, the triple down is crazy,
of a reviewer to read the room and tell the room what it wants to hear.
To stop the speculation and DMs I'm receiving, I chose to quit my role at LTT because it and the working environment I was facing were ruining my mental health. And since other people were struggling, she struggled even harder. They have an entire team working on what I was expected to accomplish alone. That's crazy if true. This is where it's starting to get not good. I was consistently belittled by certain members of upper management. My work was called dog shit, and I was called incompetent. When I would reach out, I'd be told to put on my big girl pants and be more assertive. Dude, that is wild if that's true. So at the... This one's really bad, first of all. This one's really bad. It seems like on top of this, they're just all rushed to just get shit out all the time. That was like another takeaway that I got from that, reading that Twitter thread.
Before we talk about that, while I wish us on better terms, I just want to say I'm very glad to meet you all. I have spent the last couple decades on the
crazy.
side.
This is crazy. This is the first time on the camera. This is crazy. The new CEO on this video.
Staying relevant on YouTube is hard for everyone. But we aren't fighting for survival anymore, and we don't need to run at this pace. In fact, in some ways, it's our efforts to keep doing more and keep doing better that have created our current situation.
So pump the brakes a little bit.
My background is in managing a pharmacy, where the small details matter a lot. I can assure you that I've read the criticisms that we weren't willing to spend $500 to test a product, and as the one that manages the finance, I can tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. Linus made a clear and egregious judgment error regarding retesting a product he felt was impractical.
Man, I'm so glad Linus's wife said that was also short-sighted.
Hey, I'm Gary.
I feel validated.
First off, we've made some mistakes. Too many. We're hoping that it's how we deal with it moving forward that will define who we are. And regardless, it's clear that we need to serve.
Dude, this guy sounds like Cleveland Brown. Holy shit.
Better. So our team will be spending our week publishing living documents.
And once again, I made things worse by allowing myself to respond emotionally. It's honestly really hard when people take an internal process error and then they run that all the way to Linus is a thief and wants to auction someone else's intellectual property to the highest bidder. Or
this is a fair other side of the coin.
Accuses me of trying to brush something under the rug just because
I'm glad he acknowledged that he responded out of emotion. Linus Media Group struggles with their workload a lot. They have to do 25 videos a week, and that ends up in them having errors here and there. These built up to the point where somebody responded to it, and now Linus has to respond again, making an even bigger deal than it was. It seems like there's also some like other ethical things going on at that company with like HR. I'm sure that's going to be addressed because that's like fucking like some of the worst shit if that's true. I'm glad that they're able to fix all of these mistakes, hopefully. At least acknowledge them. At least acknowledging them is pretty good. While the damage was done already, he did his best to put the fire out on the Billet Labs thing, which you have to give him credit for. All right. That's going to do it for me for now.